We are in the graphic design and illustration student exhibition.
It's basically illustrations and graphic design pieces from students that are graphic design or illustration majors.
You can find art pieces made from Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop. You can find here from poster designs, photo restoration, storyboards. Looking around this room, I can see how much the students here are learning and are getting from their professors.
We have people who are using their computers, doing digital pieces. We have people who are doing traditional, hand-drawn, and people using photography.
The quality of this exhibition is excellent. I get surprised to see how much the students are getting from the graphic design and illustration program.
For my particular class, our illustrations were based on Little Red Riding Hood and the story that goes along with it, and just kind of themed pieces that go with that story. And for my particular piece, I was more focused on the wolf itself. I was initially going to have a very close-up shot of the wolf in as great a detail as I could, but then I decided to do a little bit more with it, so I took it to the point of the story where he goes to the grandmother's house. I like the idea of it being kind of dark and cold and snowy, so it's that kind of foreboding, like something horrible is about to happen in the story, and I like that idea, so I kind of ran with that. And just to show that there was a Little Red Riding Hood, you can still see the Little Red in the wolf's eyes. I really liked that kind of paintbrush texture that came when you draw a paintbrush to canvas. So I wanted it to have that kind of effect. Initially, the wolf was going to have a very much photographic type of detail, and I decided to change it along with like the snow and the snow on the trees and the trees themselves. I liked the idea of having that kind of rough texture instead of that kind of clean look that comes with a lot of digital pieces. I like the way it turned out. It's one of the better pieces I've done with this class. My teacher really helped kind of get that idea out of my head. One thing she said was that while the wolf is a good image, it still kind of limits to the story, and let's see what you can do if you take that idea and just kind of run with it a little bit.
So for this assignment, we had to pick a photo with a writing instrument in it, and we have to replicate it. I wasn't sure what to pick, but then I decided to pick these 3 markers because I wanted something more challenging. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to recreate and make it as realistic as the original. You see 3 markers with reflections, and its positioning and angle, so we can see the depth of these 3 markers. It wasn't easy because it takes a lot of steps. We have to first trace it. You have to trace every little edge to see every little shadow, every little reflection. Then you have to try to get the colors, and then use the reflection. And you combine all of that, and then you get this result. I'm not sure if people imagine when they see this illustration. I'm not sure if they imagine how much time it takes to get this done. It took me a lot of hours to get to this point. It wasn't easy to recreate all the reflections.
I enlisted in the Marine Corps shortly after 9/11. I decided to go route of military police because I have members in my family who are in law enforcement, and I was following in their footsteps. While I was in, I was attached to a presidential security unit, and I did that for a good amount of time, and I traveled with the president, and I did security for the president. And then I transferred and became a regular military policeman in California, where I was basically just a cop. And I got out in 2007, and when I got out, I was basically hunting for jobs and doing that stuff. School didn't really come into play until about 4 years after my military service. And initially when I started coming to school, it was going to be for criminal justice, and that was my goal, just criminal justice. I was going to keep that law enforcement path going. But then, as school kept progressing, I've always been creative. Like when I was a kid, I draw a lot of, I loved to draw when I was a kid. I was very musical when I was younger. I'm very big into film. And so I wanted to continue kind of with that path along with my criminal justice, so I decided to dual major. And that's how I ended up getting into illustration.
I'm from Paraguay. I came here 8 years ago. It wasn't easy at first. I chose Montgomery College because it's a pretty diverse environment. You can basically find people from anywhere, from all the parts of the world. And you learn a lot from all these different backgrounds. And that's what I was captivated by it. I honestly didn't have idea. I was totally undecided of what I wanted to do with my life. Then I decided I was gonna give a graphic design a shot, and I can see myself from day one and now, and I can see that I learned a lot. I can see how my skills develop day by day. And it's amazing that you are in front of a computer with a blank page in front, and then after a few hours you see an art piece. And it's amazing. You feel proud of yourself to see all these new things that you are learning every day.
Initially, it was a tough transition. I went from a very structured lifestyle to where I had a command presence to kind of give me a rundown of what I'm doing for the day. They give me a job and I go do it. And so when I got to school, it's the exact opposite. And a big help I got was from Combat to College with Joanna Starling and Jason Franklin. They helped, because Jason was a former Marine and he understood the difficulty of that transition, they helped me get from that structure, waiting for the command, and then doing the job to, actually basically learning how to do it like everybody else. So they were a big help in that transition.
I believe that professors here in the graphic design department are pretty experienced in what they're doing. They're pretty knowledgeable, and I'm glad to be sharing time with them because I'm learning a lot from them. The staff here are pretty friendly and they make you feel comfortable.
I like it, actually.
They always give you useful critics that you can use later on to improve. They give us a variety of projects, and that gives the students a better idea of what they're getting into. I'll keep in my mind all the critics that professors have given me, so I won't commit the same mistakes. I'll try to improve and keep those in my mind.
Professor Vaughn, definitely, she was a great professor this year. She definitely helped me just kind of take the stuff that's in my head and get it on paper, but also, show me ways to get it on paper and have it be effective, have it be an effective image. For the stuff that I've done with this class, I did a piece on law enforcement. I had to illustrate from an essay, and the essay was an anonymous author writing about his time as a police officer. And so I was able to take my time from the military as a military policeman and show just kind of the difficulty of being in law enforcement. I was able to show it's a blank face, it's very straight edges and bold colors, because for most law enforcement it's very black and white, and it's a faceless community.
I feel great to realize that I'm graduating from Montgomery College and I'm doing something that I really like and I really enjoy. I'm really thankful for all I learned here at Montgomery College. I will feel that I'm doing something with my life, that I accomplished what I was looking for.
When I get the diploma in my hand, for one, it's going to be relief. School is exhausting, especially when I'm working full-time and going to school full-time. So knowing that that part of my life is complete, it's going to be a very nice feeling. It's another thing that I've accomplished in my life. I accomplished Marine Corps boot camp, and I got a really good sensation from that. I managed to survive the Marine Corps, which was a big accomplishment. When I got out of the military, that was a big accomplishment. So being able to finish college and get that diploma, it's going to be it's a great feeling, definitely.
Graduating from Montgomery College, it's going to be an accomplishment. It's going to be the first step to an entrepreneurial future.
Antonella Iseas with honors.
I'm planning to transfer afterwards to Stevenson University, and I know that everything I learned here is going to be helpful.
Being at Montgomery College and going to school here and learning how to transition out of that military lifestyle is really going to be the big assistance when I get out into the real world. I'll be able to take my experiences here and take that mentality of critical thinking and taking initiative and doing all that, and being able to take that into whatever career field I end up in.
I feel that Montgomery College is a great place. I tell everyone that they should come here. It's a pretty friendly place, a pretty friendly environment. The staff are willing to help you all the time. They are willing to work with you one-on-one and give you suggestions to help you improve in your weakness. And I'm really thankful for all that.
There's a little fear because I don't know what's going to happen after I graduate, but there's excitement because I know what comes next is going to be of a result of what I've done in school and the military.
I love Montgomery College.